This is the Harris Health and Mind podcast. What's up, guys? This is Reece Harris. You're listening to the Harris Health and Mind podcast. This is episode 1/introductory. I've been thinking about doing a podcast for a while now, and my girlfriend's finally given me the nudge to do so. So I appreciate your love and support on that. I also appreciate the support on the name, which my girlfriend came up with the fantastic name for Harris Health and Mind podcast. I've been listening to podcasts for about 2 or 3 years now, and I'm falling in love with lots and lots of different podcast hosts. I find that the intuitive message from various guests that are on podcasts, from Rich Roll to Joe Rogan to Brian from the London Real, just give off a very positive message, no matter what their beliefs as a person or their job role perceives. So I've been really inspired by the messages from the various guests on these shows and also the hosts from the podcasts. Personally, I've found by listening to some of these guests on the podcasts, they've given me little tips that I've managed to take away in my own personal life and transform myself into which I believe as a better person and a more rounded person. And just understanding that everyone has a different path and a message and their life story as well. Everyone is completely different, no matter what their background is and their views. I really believe that everyone has the ability to create their own destiny within their own mind. So the Harris Health and Mind podcast is going to be based around having various guests on through lots of different walks of life, but also having and creating a nice, safe environment where the message is not going to be judged, it's not going to be critiqued, it's going to be an open platform to speak about their past and also what they look to try and do in the future. And I hope you guys as listeners can try and take away some positives from the guests, even if you don't believe in their certain beliefs, because I believe everyone in life, no matter who you come across, does have a positive message to say somewhere, but I believe you also have to be open as an individual to transcend that message into something positive yourself, by taking away from maybe a judgmental side because you don't believe in something that maybe that person is speaking of. So for me, I'm really excited to have on various different guests and tell their story. For those of you who are listening, who don't necessarily know me, as I know most of you who probably are, have been forced this podcast down your throat to listen, I am a semi-professional footballer and am a football coach and have been for the last 9 years or so. I always believed from a very young age that I've been destined to help people, and that's something that I've always found the most joy in my life when I am helping others, not necessarily in just the football field, but just in general life. I really find that gives me a lot of happiness. When I grew up, when I was younger, my mum was a single mum with 4 kids, and I found that there was always someone on the outside that could help us, whether that was our neighbour next door, Doreen, who used to take us to school sometimes when we were younger, when mum was working early in the morning, or just various friends from the football circle that used to drive us to games because mum didn't necessarily have a car or the car broke down. I always find that help from others, gave me something positive to take, that other people are willing to help, and it's not just necessarily people that are closest in that circle. So I've always found that helping others without getting something in return has given me a lot of happiness. In terms of coaching the football and how that came around, I think, quite naturally. When I was younger, I was always in academy setups within a pro club environment, and then sort of drifted out of that when my brother got released for being too small at Colchester United. That's when I started to sort of think about football in a sort of different way, and I couldn't really understand at that young age how, personally, I thought someone so good, although he's my brother, I'm obviously going to be biased, someone who was so good at that young age got released on height, which was the only reason. It was because he was too small at that time. And I think that really affected me when I was younger. And I was still in the academy setup, but I made the conscious choice that I wanted to play and be happy rather than someone say to me, well, look lad, you're too small, or you're not fast enough, or you're not strong enough, we're going to release you. So from a very young age, I was very, very aware of what I wanted to do for myself. And I think that my brother Shane getting released, that hit me very hard, but also gave me that awareness from a very young age. And from that point, I was always aware of what I wanted to do for myself and ultimately take charge of my own thinking process. And from a very, very young age, I'm very, very secure on knowing what I would do would be the right process for myself. And yeah, from there, I again divvied around with academy setups, went to Colne Football College, which is which you would class as a standard college where you do either BTEC, A-levels, and then do football in the afternoon. And from that, I had trials with Colchester United Academy, and then went on tour with Southend. But within that, there's a lot of setbacks within the football community that I suffered personally, and also something when I was very young at Tottenham, which to this day I think has helped me become a very stronger person mentally. I remember when I was about 13, I went on trial at Tottenham Hotspur, was there for a while, and we played our first game against Luton. And in the first 35 minutes, the game was at a rapid pace. It was something that I've never, ever been, at that age, obviously, I'd never been accustomed to. And I just remember I just went down, faked an injury, and said, look, I've got to come off. And from that point onwards, it was something where at a young age I realised that it was something that I had to work on. I wasn't fit enough for Tottenham Hotspur, and I had to fake that injury to come off. It was something that stuck with me for years on end. My mum used to think that I left there because it was the travelling that was taking its toll, when in essence it was more me mentally not having the capabilities and the fitness levels to compete with those boys at the age of 12, 13 years old. And, little things mentally where I was playing left back and the left winger at the time is now playing for Crystal Palace. Things go through your mind that you maybe think, what ifs and stuff like that. But I'm at a place now where I'm very happy and comfortable with the decision I made, and I believe everything happens for a reason. And from there, I said to myself that there will never be a game where I'm not fit enough to play, or I'm not fit enough to get around. And to this day, I really think that process at Tottenham Hotspur, where I faked an injury and had to come off because I wasn't fit enough, inspired me to start what I am doing now in terms of my one-to-one coaching, where I really focus and try and help my clients understand the process of what it takes from a very young age at these top clubs to make it, essentially. Not necessarily just the fitness, but a lot on the mental side of the politics in football, the training, and just having different coaches that may have a different opinion on you as well. So I like to try and create an environment which is positive all of the time. I believe that the player themselves have that positivity and the capability to enhance their game on another level if they fully understand and can create that mindset for themselves that once they are at a fitness level and they can compete, they will be able to show their worth, essentially. So that's something that's really played on my mind from a young age, and that sort of helped me in my my career of coaching. On a personal level, performance and playing wise, I also like to help my clients understand that you also don't necessarily need to be all the way through an academy at a young age to get into pro clubs or to get to a high level. if you want to get there as well. Some players that I train just want to get better and are not too focused on the football side. But for the ones that are and do have aspirations to becoming a professional footballer, I also try and share my message with them, and my pathway that I had after being released at Southend at the age of 17, 18. After having an unsuccessful trial, I tell them about my pathway through playing step 9 level, which I managed to get all the way up to step 5, which is the conference national level, so one league below professional. And that just came around again just organically and quite naturally, in the sense of just being able to enjoy my football. I got to the age of 18, 19, where after all these trials, after football college and stuff, it does take its toll on you. But I just said to myself, look, I want to get to play at a high level. I want to enjoy myself. But this is what I've got to do to get there. And I knew that if I can prepare properly, like I always used to do from a young age, if I could prepare properly, if I could make sure that I'm physically and mentally ready for the non-league side of things, I will be able to progress just, again, organically and quite naturally. And that's something that I managed to do. I went from playing step 9 to step 4 within probably a year. And again, that was just all off the process of being happy within myself, not concentrating on the environment that I was in and making it a negative, because I found at that time, me personally, some players I was playing around, they were coming from pro clubs down into that step 9 division, and there's almost that snobbery, or almost like I'm too good for this level, whereas I just disregarded everything and set myself on just being happy, being focused, and knowing that everything will happen organically as long as I am in that mindset of playing comfortably within myself, in the sense that I knew that everything else exterior would take care of itself. Which was what I did, and I'm very, very happy to have experienced and played with many good players from this day forwards, really. And that's me. I'm someone who would like to share my story with others, but I'm really, really interested in hearing different stories from different people and different walks of life and different sports, because everyone's got their own story, and I really thrive off hearing what other people say. It's almost like a therapy session for me, and taking on what ups and downs other people have, and having that understanding that what I have gone through, others are going through, and helping people within my personal setup in terms of footballing, but also hopefully with this podcast, getting the message out there that if you are suffering with things like depression, anxiety, there are other people out there that are suffering, and they may be able to help you with different tips and different tricks that might help you in your environment. So that's the key of Harris Health and Mind, is to try and get the guests on that we can all take something from, which will be positive, but also understand that everyone has a different path, and to trust the process, and not to get bogged down with where you're at, because there's always something positive that you can go forwards with in the future if your mindset is set correct. So stay tuned for more podcasts to come. We have had some issues with sound quality, but again, I just want this to go organically. I didn't want to waste time in making sure everything was perfect. I want to get this out there. And I look to try and make things more professional in the future, and in terms of mic setup, and there might be some background noise and stuff, but I just want to get this out there because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and hopefully you can take something positive from the podcasts and the guests that we have on, because for me that's the ultimate goal, and hopefully help a happy, healthier environment for you guys that are listening. So enjoy, stay tuned. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. Peace. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Harris Health and Mind podcast. You're listening to episode 1. Today's guest is Elias Siligato. Hope I said that right, Elias.
Hello.
Hello. Elias is from Spain. He came over with the Football for the Chance program that Haybridge Swift offer, and that brings boys and men over from Spain that are looking to break into the English game from non-league and make it to professional level, like the likes of Juan Luque, who went from Haybridge with Elias and got a move to Lincoln City and is now at Bromley FC. Elias, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk about, first of all, the move over from Spain. How did you find the adjustment from playing football in Spain to coming over and playing football in non-league in England?
Well, I think it was similar that the football we are playing in my area in Spain, but if I played as well in Madrid, for example, and they play more passes, and here is more long balls and second balls, so it was similar, not so hard to adapt here the football, but in Spain we like more to keep the ball and pass the ball. But I think when you are in England and the ground is so hard to play in December or January, you need to play long balls. So maybe the reason why they are playing in this way. I found hard for the beginning because the tempo is faster and the players are more are bigger, and I don't know, it's difficult to adapt to this level and that conditions. But I think my mentality and my kind of football is similar that the people is playing here and the players. So I think in 1 year I was ready to be in non-league because I started in Haybridge. Then I went on loan to Stansted, is 1 league below. I was playing there all the games. It was Nick Brown as well with me on loan.
Brownie, yeah.
Yeah, and George Smith is in Coachella United now.
Oh yeah, George, yeah.
Yeah, we were playing there. Then I was speaking with Jody in November, and I said I would like to start to play in the same league than Haybridge. So he found me a team in the same league in Ware. Now he's in the other group.
Yeah.
And I was there playing with, it was Abs, a midfielder.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah, good footballer. And I was playing there for 2 games. Then came another manager, Craig Davis, something like that. And he said doesn't want people on loan. Then I came back to Haybridge. And the grounds start to be hard to play. I wasn't playing so many games because the conditions and so many games cancelled. Then Maxi called me to go to Waltham Forest, and I went there to him. It was so good manager, good people. The team, it was new, and at the beginning was so hard. We were losing all the games, and we didn't find the way we want to play.
Yeah.
But I think after that year playing in Stansted, in Ware, in Waltham Forest, and a few games in Haybridge, I understood the way I need to play here and adapt my football here to play quickly and stand and try to find the second balls and try to pass forward always, because when you arrive here you don't understand when you make a long pass, for example, all the wingers and the forwards are going like crazy to the ball. It doesn't happen in Spain. So it's not a good pass in Spain. The forwards are not going to the ball.
No.
Here it's a bad pass. Maybe they reach the ball and is a good pass.
Yeah.
So it's a little difference.
That's interesting. How? Because most people who would especially potentially come over from another country to try and make it in England, you talk about within the first year that you probably went to 4 different teams. How did you find mentally that adjustment happened? That right, I initially come over thinking that I was going to be in one team.
Yeah.
Then I went on loan, and then I went to another team, and then another team within where Stansted. How did that process? How did that help you mentally to then when you eventually went into the Haybridge team? How did that keep you mentally focused?
Well, the first thing is you need to understand when we are in Spain, or I think in other countries, but especially in Spain, you are training 4 days, so you can show to the manager how you are.
Yeah.
But when you arrive here in England and Guillem says to me, no, here is just one training session, Thursday normally, and then you play on Saturday and Tuesday. Wow, I said, it's impossible to show to the manager how you are, and
your personality.
Yeah, you have maybe 20, 15 or 5 minutes in a game, maybe you don't touch the ball. So how can I show you my football?
Yeah.
So it was hard, but you need to change your mind and say, okay, now I need to get a plan, and if I'm not training like every day in Spain, I need to go to the gym and change my mind and work hard. And okay, if it's not this season, because it will be hard, we can try in another team, because when you are in Haybridge and you go on loan in a league below, normally you are playing. It happens in every team here in England. So I said, okay, it will be hard, but I can play and be fit, and when I'm ready, if the manager wants me to play, I can play. So I try to do that, and yes, enjoy the football here. I was enjoying so much here because I don't know, it's different. It's obviously I like to train, but when you start to play Tuesday training session, Thursday, and play again Saturday, is the weeks are going so quickly, and you start to enjoy because it's something new.
Yeah.
Then it was hard, but enjoying, what I mean.
Well, for those that obviously don't know you, and obviously I played with Elias, so obviously we used to have the group WhatsApp at Haybridge, and you, Gillum, you always used to train all the time or send clips of you doing workouts and stuff in the gym. Yeah. Is that something that
it was fine? You remember?
Yeah, it was fine as well. Yeah, which was strange for trying to better himself. But was that something you always did in Spain, or like you just said, you had to adapt in England and train extra because you wasn't training the 4 days like you were in Spain? Was that something that you thought, right, because I'm not training the 4 days like I was in Spain, this is something I've got to do to progress myself and try and better myself in England? Is that something you did, or was you doing stuff in Spain also?
Well, I did in Spain, but just for precision. Yeah. Like in precision, we were training as well 4 or 5 days per week, and normally I was going at morning or something like that to make my gym stuff, some running to do a double training session for me, because I want to be prepared for the season. But doing like all the season, going to the gym, I never did.
No. What would you say to players that are potentially in the football chance that want to come over next year from Spain? What would you say the hardest adjustment or the hardest thing about coming from Spain and playing in England non-league football? What would you say the hardest thing is for those people that are looking at potentially coming over?
Well, the first thing is when I arrived here, it was Guillem, and he knew the football here, how it works and everything. He asked me, where you want to play? What level? Well, I said I was playing in Spain in step 4, so Maybe. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So Elias has got his phone on.
I need to wake up to go work. What I said. So step 4, then maybe League 2, because you don't know the leagues here in England. I say League 2, National League. Wow, Guillem was surprised. But everybody in the football the chain said the same.
Yeah.
Because the people was playing in step 4, step 5 in Spain, so maybe it's the same. Yeah. But it's not the same. The pyramid is not the same. Here you have from Premier League to National League just one group.
Yeah.
Then 2 groups in Conference South and
North and splits off.
And in Spain, no. In Spain, it's like one group in the first division, one group in the second division, and then you have 4 groups in second B and 18 in the step 4. So it's not the same. So I arrived here and I said that to Guillem. Guillem almost start to cry. And I will say to the people who is coming, and be relaxed and enjoy the football, enjoy the managers, enjoy not the weather because it's shit, but enjoy everything, enjoy the grounds because we don't have in Spain the natural grass. Normally it's artificial. And try to work in something you can learn English quickly.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to touch on, because you also had to adjust to the language, didn't you? Did you speak English at all?
I thought
in Spain?
I thought yes, but it doesn't. No, it wasn't.
So you had to learn English.
Yeah.
And that again,
it's not just speak, but to understand the people is so difficult.
The culture side of coming from Spain to England, and like you've alluded to, not even speaking the language. What did you do to learn so quickly? Because your English is good now, but
the first thing, it was something with football.
Yeah,
we were with Guillem in a training session in the morning, and Guillem started to say how you say cross and man on, time and switch and everything you need for football.
Yeah,
the basics, and we were learning that. And then I started to work in Subway.
Yeah.
But my English, it wasn't improving.
No.
Because in Subway is fast food, you must to say always the same.
Yeah.
Then in December last year I moved to Carlucci's restaurant. There I start to improve my English, because you as a waiter you can speak with the people and it's different things you can say and they can say to you as well.
Yeah.
So it's when I start to speak English a little bit. And the thing you must to do always is start to watch the film in English or the language you need to improve.
Was you scared initially to go from moving over, playing football, not necessarily knowing many people, if any, hardly anyone, and then diving straight into working in an English environment where you hardly knew any English? How was that for you?
It was easier than you think, maybe, because I was just enjoying football, then the other things doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But now, after 1 year and a half, I said, wow, I still working in a restaurant, double shift from 11 morning to close, one break, and it's the only thing I don't like. Because in Spain I was working as well in administrative.
Yeah.
So it was better for me. I'm not running all the time.
Yeah. How did you felt that being, especially like you're saying, if you're working from 11 till close with one break in a restaurant, that's crazy hours, and especially trying to figure out and learn the language at the same time for people's orders, and then making sure that you get those correct, and then potentially going, because I remember saying to you in one game, we had a game on a Saturday, and you was going straight from the game to you had a couple of hours and you had to go straight to work. So how does that impact on your body? Was you feeling much more tired? And
yeah, I'm so tired now.
Yeah,
I'm so tired because one Saturday okay, but 2 Saturdays okay. When you have 20 Saturdays going straight from football, it's like I don't want to work anymore. You understand? I don't want to work.
Yeah.
You start football at 3, then you finish at 5:30. Take shower quickly, go to work. Maybe you were playing in London, so it's 1 hour to get your work, and start 7, then close. Normally Sunday working in the morning, so it's like stressful.
You get no sort of rest time whatsoever.
Yeah, I would like to have the time to be after game relaxing in home, watching a movie or something like that, but no.
So we obviously touched on the language barrier as well. Is there any similarities within football itself? So like you spoke about with Gillum saying things like man on or cross, the language in football that we use in England, is it quite similar to sort of the language in Spain?
Yeah, it's similar.
In terms of like what is said during games and stuff in team talks, or?
Well, it's similar, but for me it wasn't, because it's not normal for me speaking English when I'm playing. So when I want to say something now it's normal, but at the beginning was like how it was, man on, but it was late.
Yeah.
You know, so it was difficult, but we were trying to do it in training sessions or something like that, because now this season Jody said to us, you need to speak more on the field and try to communication better. And I said, yeah, it's okay, but it's hard for me to say something more than man on or time.
Yeah.
Because it's not natural for me.
Of course, because you're speaking predominantly in Spanish, I guess.
Yeah.
When you were back home playing all the time, so when you just learn phrases or little bits of language, you can't open up because you take too long. And on a football pitch, everything's instant, isn't it? So if you delay your communication, it might delay the next pass, or you might get
you are losing 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, just by thinking about what you're then going to say, rather than thinking about your next movement or your next pass. So that is difficult. What would you say mentally that you've gained from coming over to England? So from Spain, what would you say mentally that you've found that's helped you, or something that you probably wasn't necessarily as strong on, that you found that has helped you coming over to England that you can maybe take back to Spain? Whether that's something that that maybe certain managers didn't fancy you but you kept going anyway, or certain things like that mentally that you felt have helped you along the pathway within the last year and a half?
What I learned here to come to give with me to Spain, to bring with me. For example, the managers here, when you want to get in a team, is I think is more difficult to get in a team. So you need to speak with them, and maybe the thing I learned is to be more confident when I speak with them, and try to do it in Spain as well.
Yeah.
Because I never tried to speak with the manager, so if I wasn't playing, yes, I was working hardest, but here is impossible because you don't have training sessions. So maybe that is one thing I can bring to Spain.
Yeah. What's the process like in terms of? I know you say they train 4 times a week in Spain, but what's the process like in terms of the managers or the coaches? Is it still the same as like Barcelona and stuff like that, where maybe they call them coaches, they don't necessarily call them managers here? Are they more, because non-league, sometimes you get a manager who's the manager and then they have coaches that do all of the training, and sometimes you have both. What's it like in Spain? Do they have Similar to here, or
Yeah, you have the coach or the manager. I don't know what is exactly.
Yeah.
So you have one person is the boss.
Yeah.
And you have the assistant. The assistant manager is just helping the manager. So maybe it's setting up the field for the training session, but the person normally who is taking the training session is the manager, and the assistant manager. The only thing they are doing is helping the manager in some decisions, but it's not like here. Here you have, for example, we had Jody and Duke.
Yeah.
Duke was doing a lot of stuff, and Jody was doing the manager stuff. But in Spain, it's very different. Very different. Yeah. I have, for example, a friend. He was playing in the first division with Villarreal. Now he's assistant manager in one team in Spain, but he's not doing a lot of stuff. The manager is the boss, and he's just helping. You have as well the person who is doing the fitness session. So the only person is taking care of the team normally is one person, is the manager.
Yeah. What do you prefer from a player's perspective? Because like you said with Dukes at Haybridge, Adam Bailey Dennis as well, being part of the coaching staff. Yeah. Do you prefer having 2 or 3 people around so then you can maybe go and talk to them, or do you just prefer having one manager so then at least you know everything's going through that person?
If your relationship with one person is good, I prefer one manager. But if your relationship is bad, I prefer 2 or 3 because you have more people. But you don't know. It depends the person or the people is in there. Yeah. The people is in there is good with you is okay 2 or 3, but if the people is the relationship is bad, you cannot do anything. So it's maybe better you move team.
Yeah, it's understandable. Yeah. I want to sort of dive into younger days, younger Elias Siligato in Spain, Ibiza. Always been playing football, or?
Yeah, always.
Always. What, since you were younger? And
I born with football and there my arm. Yeah. I think my brother was 10 years older than me. He died in 2013, I think. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and he was a player as well, and.
So you always sort of looked up to him because you was the younger one and saw you had a ball already and you saw him playing and maybe going to games and that sort of give you that extra push as well.
And he was making me training session as well, so I was watching him playing and I don't remember my life without a football. No, it's impossible.
Was that from like parents giving you the football, or just because you saw your brother, how you got into it?
My brother. Yeah, my father never played, so he doesn't understand. He was watching me playing, but no.
He wasn't the one that said, right, I'm going to take you to a club and bang, you're never. Playing. No.
He doesn't understand nothing about football.
No.
It was just my brother.
So what's that relationship like now when obviously you've left Spain to come over here and play?
Yeah.
Did he understand that obviously that's what you wanted to do and sort of helped you with that, or?
One day, like 6 or 7 years ago, my father said, I buy you a new car, but you need to go in summer to England to few months. And I said, okay. I never been here. And after 6 years, Luke offered me that thing, the football, the chance to come here. And I said, fucking hell. I said no to my father to come here to learn some English, and now I must to go there. I said to Luke, yeah, of course. And when I said to my father, he said to me, yeah, of course. You must to go and learn English, play football there, work, everything. I think my father is always helping me or supporting me in my decisions.
So even before the football, the chance came along, your father was pretty much saying go to England to learn. What is it about England that he wanted you to go? Does he feel like there's more opportunities here for you, or?
Wow. About work, yes,
Yeah.
because in Spain the situation now is difficult, but here you have a lot of works to do and good money, better than Spain. About football, I thought it was more opportunities here, but I don't know now if it's true or not. I think in football in general in all the countries, always the players have like CV,
Yeah.
and it depends the name you have, you are playing or not. So for me that it was sad. I think it was sad because I don't like when the people is coming to your team because it's not usual in Spain.
No.
The people moving a lot team from this team to another team. Like this season, I moved 3 times. I was in Heybridge, I moved to Witham, then I moved to Walthamstow. In Spain, that doesn't happen.
No. So do they not have loans or things like that in non-league in
Yeah,
Spain?
you have loans, but the people is not using it.
Do they just leave?
Or if you are on loan like all the season or half season.
Yeah.
But no, for example, 1 month on loan and then another month on loan to another team. It's not happening.
Because you can't build any consistency as a player because you don't, especially for you guys, obviously coming over from Spain, it's hard to learn people's names in 1 month. You want to impress. They might not even train. They might just turn up and play games. If they're playing Saturday, Tuesday, the manager might say, right, we're not training, just games. And then, especially if you don't start, you're always on the back foot because you feel like you've got to impress. And talk about one of the teams you played at, the pitch wasn't very, very great. So that's obviously the way that you want to play. It's difficult for you as well to adapt, going from a pitch like Heybridge to somewhere where it's very, very bobbly, and the manager wants to play a certain way, and you find that it's difficult because the players are not adapting to your style as well, and you don't have the time to do that. So, do you think in Spain players will just leave rather than, like you said, or rather than the 1 month loan or 6 months in Spain? Do you think they'll just go somewhere else rather than loans?
Yeah, the thing is when you are in Spain playing, so if you are not playing, you are on the bench or on the stand, not even in the squad. The thing you can do is training hardest and try to be on the squad. Here it's not. Here you are not playing, so they maybe send you on loan to one league below. You're gonna play for sure because it's almost on the contract.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what is better because if you are playing, obviously I prefer the system in Spain.
Yeah.
If you are not playing, I prefer this system because you can move and still playing.
Yeah.
So when I arrived it wasn't playing, and I said to Jody, please send me on loan to another team. He did.
Yeah.
So I could play. If not, I was in Heybridge. Heybridge doing so well, and what can I do? It's a lot of people there like Darky. It was Darky and Godball. You have people playing, doing so good. The manager knows that people. Obviously, my chance is gonna be.
It's going to be limited. It's going to be limited, and it's taking that chance if you get it. But like you say, sometimes clubs just go, right, we'll send you on loan for a month.
Yeah.
And they might not even come and look at you. They might just look at results and say, right, has Elias got man of the match, or has Elias scored, or they might just ring the manager and say, oh, how's he getting on? And if the manager doesn't really big you up, it's hard for you to then get back in if the manager hasn't seen you. So, yeah, I can see what you're saying on both sides of the argument for sure. One of the other things I want to sort of touch on is the people that obviously don't know you and wouldn't have seen you play. Is you're quite aggressive, and as a Spanish player, you don't really see that, especially in the professional game like Barcelona, Madrid, and stuff. You see a lot of diving around and rolling, which you do like a little dive yourself, but you are very is that something that you've always had in Spain as a player?
Yeah.
If not, you've adapted very, very well. Like, talk about that, because a lot of people associate when they go over to Spain, especially younger kids, the vision is they're probably getting the ball, little tiki-taka, one touch, and they're all very sort of lightweight and dive around and roll around. But you're a very, very good footballer, and you're very Spanish in the way you play, but you also got that English side, and you're very aggressive in you play. How did that come about? Was it something?
No, it happening always, but I remember the first training session. I was still in the football the chance. It wasn't over. It was Thursday.
Yeah.
We were training Luke's brother, the goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, yeah.
Yeah, and me, I think we were training with the first team, Herbridge. We were doing a kickballing. It was Henshaw, Harry Morgan, so people aggressive as well. They were keeping the ball, and I was smashing everywhere, everybody, and they were thinking like, what is doing this kid? Is the first training session and he's smashing everywhere. And I said, yeah, I like to be aggressive, not to get injured the people. I don't like to hurt the people, but I like to be aggressive. And one game, I don't know who was. I think it was the first game against Soham. I did a tackle. Wow, from behind.
Scissor.
Yeah,
that chop.
I think it was yellow card, but it was red for sure. Trust me.
You got away with one.
Yeah, my friend at the stand said, "Fucking hell, what is doing Elias? It was playing so good." I think I was man of the match there. I made that tackle and was wow. What I did, I said red card. Wow.
And you got the yellow.
Yeah, it was yellow. Hopefully.
What does your style of play work when you go back, or previously in Spain? If you play like that, do you feel like that would be as effective if you was playing the way that you play here back in the team in Spain? Do you feel like your style of play will work? Would you be able to get close enough to players, or do you feel like that they just pass the ball around you? Do you feel like you have to then adapt when you go back?
I don't think so. I said to you before, normally the football we play in Ibiza in Baleares is similar that here, so you can play aggressive and second balls and long passes. But our ground in Ibiza, if I play there, I don't know yet. I need to find a club. But the pitch is so big. I think is the bigger one in Baleares, and the grass is new. So I guess they're gonna try to play passing, but obviously when you have a team playing against you, they are all behind the ball. It's difficult to try to pass because it's not a space.
No.
So normally the people put a bigger striker in front and pass to him long balls, and that's it. So I think it's gonna be similar, not hard. But the only thing I gonna find hard is to adapt again to the training sessions and the tempo of the game. Passing, not because the tempo maybe here is highest.
Yeah, it's more run around, chasey, second balls, breaking play up,
box to box.
Yeah,
but the tempo about passes and that I think is highest there.
So, how would you adjust to that with your training? What sorts of things would you do to get yourself ready for that tempo?
When I get back, the first thing I want to do is keep my training session at mornings, if it's possible with a ball, because I need to get more technical, and I think it's gonna help me in that tempo playing,
Within the training sessions, even like you said, within the team in Ibiza, is it based around a lot of technical stuff with the ball?
It depends the day. Normally, if you are training 4 days per week, like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Normally Monday is for the people who played in the weekend. The recovery, and the people didn't play. They are doing some stuff to
weights or agility.
or keep the ball and in a small space. Then you normally rest on Tuesday. Then Wednesday is a good day to do some cardio or a good training session.
Fitness.
Yeah. Thursday normally they training like the players the manager wants to play for the weekend, so it's different training sessions. But yes, we do a lot of keep balls and something like that.
Do you do a lot of rondo where
like Guardiola?
Yeah. Do you do a lot of that, or is that something that we just sort of see and we think, right, no, everyone in Spain does that?
Yeah, but not like here. Here is previous game or previous training session you are doing.
Yeah.
But there no. There is sometimes they put like a training session, do rondos and
just on rondos.
Not all the training session, the whole training session, but you do like
specifically. Yeah.
Specifically.
Jesus,
I think it's the best training session. Always must to have a rondo, because rondo is everything you can do in a game in a small space.
Do they do the rondo where you're just staying in that small space, or like you see? I don't know if you've seen the rondos where they're in either a circle or like a square, but they move as well.
Yeah.
So they sort of go from one side of the area to another and stay. And if you're in the middle, you obviously stay within the middle.
Yeah.
They do stuff like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different.
Is it the level? I presume is obviously much higher than here when you like you said when we're doing keep ball in non-league.
Yeah, it's like people is laughing.
People just give the ball away every 2-3 passes, whereas in Spain it's bang, 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 1-2s and stuff.
Yeah, 1-2 and stuff and passing, and I don't know. It's different. The people here, I mean, maybe it's less professional.
The training or
like
everything
like normal.
Like how like you said, how they sort of like the approach, like the professionalism to training and the setup.
Yeah.
From everyone, whether it's the players.
I think they are
coaches.
Less professional in outside football because
just going out drinking.
Yeah.
Is that more of an English culture, whereas like you're saying, you're training 4 days. It's hard to, I guess, if you're going to go out and
of course
and drink to excess, and then you've got training a day or 2 days later, and then you've got it again every other day. Is that what you mean by sort of like the standard?
Yeah. So all of these, I don't know. I was confused when I arrived because I saw the people doing some things. I say like, wow, I don't like this. It's not my culture. But after that, you can see that people playing so good in a match, so I cannot say anything to them.
Yeah, it's
but like I saw people like you, or I don't know, other people is fit and they like football. They are going to the ground every day to do some stuff or the gym. So for me, that people is professional.
I remember you asking about my shakes and the little ice box and stuff that I used to bring.
Yeah, I did that, and I did the gym stuff to improve. So with Guillem it's always easy to do that.
Yeah.
Because Guillem is wow, he's always doing.
Do you think clubs, if they had even 90% of the players that had that mindset, do you think they would get promoted much easier? Or if everyone had the mindset, right, I'm not in a team or whatever, I'm going to go and do a gym session the next morning, or I'm going to go and work hard to get back in the team. Do you think if clubs in England had that mindset and the training was on a level and everyone was on a level, do you think their clubs would progress much quicker in terms of like the football and the standard?
Of course. of course, because I think the league's gonna be hardest for everyone because all the clubs gonna be more professional, but it's gonna be better for the people, for the fans watching the football because they're gonna see better football, and the people gonna enjoy this football.
Sure.
I think one of if you have these fields and these grounds, they are unbelievable. We don't have in Spain, so you have that fields and the people is more professional and they start to training 4 days per week and take the football seriously and go to the gym when it's not in the squad or something like that. Wow, you can see good football here because you can play good football. Then I don't know why in England is this mentality to just train in one day. Is the hardest thing I cannot understand here.
Yeah, because even if, like you said, even if you trained twice or 3 times a week,
Yeah,
you're gonna if the training of the quality of the training and obviously the quality of what the players bring to the session is good, you would find that eventually there would be an improvement all across the board. Whereas it's hard to get the one night a week with everyone there, and it's we've been there where players can't get to training or they say they can't get to training, and then we'll turn up on a Saturday and they will play.
Yeah, come on. I was working every day, almost every day, but I always said when I get a new job, I said my days normally are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to play football. But if they change because we are playing Wednesday or Sunday or I don't know, if it changes, you need to change my day.
Yeah, so you put football first.
Yeah, if not, I'm not getting the job. If they say yes, I have the job. Okay, so I don't have any excuse to say I'm not going to training session. If I'm not going to the training session, it's because I don't want, or because the day before the manager said me tomorrow we are playing, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
So
that's such a good mentality to have, though, isn't it? Again, like your mentality in that football comes first and the training it comes first. That's such a good mentality to have because we've played with players that we know that don't turn up to training, but will play every Saturday. And sometimes they play really well. Sometimes they even score goals or they assist or they create. And then there's other times where we know that they haven't trained on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and then they play on a Saturday and you wouldn't even notice that they were playing. But then they still carry on playing for whatever reason, if they're big money or a manager's friend or whatever it is. And it's so frustrating to see when there's players like yourself and others that if they don't play but they're there at training, they're going and doing a gym session the next day, or they're going and doing a run or whatever it is, or getting something in to make themselves better. And then you still see the players that whatever it is, or oh, by the way, boss, I can't get to training, making that excuse, but then end up playing on the Saturday.
Here's the thing I don't like, because in Spain I had one mate. We were playing in a Saturday, I think, or Sunday, I don't remember, and he was in a bar before the game, like 1 hour before.
Yeah.
He was waiting. It's the ground, and the village is close to the ground. Yeah. It's like 2 minutes by car, so it's so close. And he was waiting there, and all the people start to get into the changing room. He was in the start, starting, and he arrived 15 minutes late, and he was 1 hour before in the bar. And the manager said, "Okay, the next time you're gonna be here, not there in the bar. I don't care if you were 1 hour waiting there because you're late.
Yeah,
you're here, you're late, 15 minutes. So you're not playing today. You're not even in the squad." He didn't play. Here it's not happening. I had mates arriving half an hour late than they starting. So for me, it's not fair. It's not fair for the people is working hard, for the people is waking up earlier in the morning to to go to the match, because it's all to be professional. If you are waking up earlier and you go into the match 20 minutes earlier or 15 minutes earlier, you are a professional because you want to play.
Yeah.
And the people is going there half an hour late. Why they must to play? Why?
And that sort of goes back to the standard stuff, doesn't it? And setting professional standards from the manager as well, because like you said, the times where players will turn up late and the manager just accepts it and goes, okay, get your stuff done, get ready, get out there, and you've got 10 minutes to warm up before the game starts or whatever, you're still playing. Whereas if the manager turns around and says, right, you're not in the squad, don't be late again, that player's going to be pissed off because they might have rushed to get there, but they've got there 20, 30, 15 minutes late. But then the manager's turned around and said, well, you're not in the squad, you're late. Yeah. Then the chances are the next game or the next week, they're going to be 10, 15 minutes earlier.
Of course.
So it's setting that standard, and it's making sure that with your teammates that are there, it's not showing to them, because other people will do it. If they can see that, someone's going to turn up late 30 minutes and play, that will filter down very, very quickly if the manager just accepts that and allows that. Yeah. So it's a bit of both, isn't it? It's a manager and the player setting the example of saying, right, if I have got work, I need to say to my boss, I need to get away, so I've got enough time. And if you're travelling from far, making sure that you check travel and making sure you can get there on time. There's going to be times where, unfortunately, there might be traffic right around the corner and you can't get there. But
I can understand if you play on Tuesday, you can be late because you may be living in London. You need to get out from London from your work, and you go to Heybridge or Colchester or wherever, and you be late. But if you say to the coach, to the manager before, listen, Tuesday, I don't know if I'm playing, but if I'm playing, I'll be late 15, 20, 30 minutes late, okay? Because I'm working in London, so I need to get out and blah, blah, blah. It's, for me, that it could be okay. But Saturday, which excuse you have? Saturday. You are playing at 3, you are not working, so you don't have any excuse.
No, you're right. And I think, you're 100% right. And I think that's just making sure, again, from the player, that they just let the manager know and say, look, I might be late, just in case. I'm obviously going to look to try and get there on time.
Yeah.
But if I am late, look, I've given you the heads up. But some players, like we say, probably don't do that as much. Okay, I want to ask you a question that you might have to think about, or you might already know the answer. What's something that you haven't necessarily achieved from what you wanted to achieve from coming over from Spain to England? What's something at this moment in time where you feel like you haven't achieved what you potentially maybe set out to do within that time frame?
I haven't. Okay.
What you haven't, yeah.
Well, I would like to play in maybe 1 or 2 leagues above from Bostik, but I think I have the standards, and I think I'm a good player to be there. I would like to try that league because I think the people is more professional and they can play better. The grounds obviously are
much
better. But I'm not sad about that. I think I played in Heybridge, good club with a good manager and good mates. I played in Walthamstow, and I was so happy to play there with Maxi. And for me, it's not sad that I would like to play leagues above, but if it's not happening, I don't care.
No.
I'm happy to be here without friends, without family. So I was alone. I had friends, but not at the beginning.
Yeah, you had to get used to meeting new people.
Yeah, and I'm happy what I done. I learned English. It was so difficult to me in Spain to do it, because the academics are so bad. I was working here, so I'm happy. I'm happy, very happy.
Talking about family, because you're going back. You're going back to Spain very soon, permanently. You excited to see everyone when you go back?
Wow! I want to see my girlfriend. I think she was waiting for a long time, and I said to her a lot of times I want to be here for a year in England, and I want to go back. I want to stay here. I want to go back, and she was confused. So I think she deserved. I'm getting back. I want to see my father as well. I want to see my friends. So I'm excited to be there.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
With that, with your girlfriend and you saying she was confused because you said you wanted to be here, and sort of going back and forth. Was she very supportive? I know, obviously, personally, I've seen her. She's come over and stuff like that. But in the initial stages, was she supportive, or was there any sort of resistance, or any?
No.
Did she feel nervous on your relationship that it might drift, or?
We were in distance, like at the beginning, 3 years ago. She was studying like 6 months outside Ibiza. She was in Cordoba, and I know how we are. We relationship is so good. So we trust each other, and she was supporting me, and she knows my dream is football, and I wanted to try English football. So always she said to me, "Go try, and when you want to get back, you're welcome." I said to her at the beginning, because I was so happy to be here, "Come live with me here," but she had work, and it's difficult to the people is working in a good place there move to England and work in a restaurant, for example. I think she preferred to be a swimming teacher for kids than work in a restaurant. But she was supporting me always.
Yeah, and that's such a good thing to have, is that support network from either family, friends, or the girlfriend. If she's turned around and said, "Look, go, enjoy yourself, and then if you need to come back, and I'm here," and having that's probably giving you that extra little nudge to be like, right, bang, there's nothing that's potentially holding you back, or you're a bit nervous to leave the girlfriend at home because of the distance. Her saying, "Look, go, enjoy yourself, I'm here," must have given you that massive boost to go, right, let's get straight into it.
When I had a lot of up and downs, so she was always saying to me, "Stay there because it's your dream." She could say, "Oh, if you're down, come here and stay with me," and she never said. So for me, it means a lot, because someone who loves you, and obviously she wants me there. She's telling me, "Stay there because it's your dream." For me, is
hang on to that one.
Of course.
She's got a birthday just after Christmas. Pop the question.
No, I don't have the present yet.
Not the present, the iPad instead of the little ring.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I'm gonna get married.
No.
No, I'm
thinking not a marriage kind of guy. No.
I want to get married, but not for the church. I don't want to be in a church and pay a lot.
So like the process of a marriage, like the day, like the church,
I want to get married with her, but something like sign a paper and be married.
Does she want to get a big church wedding?
Obviously, all the girls like.
So how's it? I'm interested to find out, because obviously, like you said, all the girls have got that dream of big church wedding, massive white gown, walking in and everyone looking at
white.
Yeah. So what have you had those questions? Does she know that, like, you are not you want to get married to her from in the sense of like a certificate and a legal sense, but you don't want the whole day? How is she with that? Is she okay, or a few arguments?
Not really, but
no,
it's okay, because I just want that. Obviously, I could do a party, wedding party. But not in so big and spend a lot of money. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So for her, it's fine, but she would like to be in a church, so
Yeah.
dressed white.
I mean, it is difficult if you was to do, like you said, get married. I don't know. Here, you can go to, it's called a registry office. So where you
Yeah,
basically go sign some papers and you get married. You can have a few friends there, and some people tend to do that and then have like a massive party at like
yeah,
like a farm or
yeah,
somewhere like that, and you can still dress up and have your dress and stuff like that, but have
yeah.
everyone there, and then you're not necessarily paying for certain fees and stuff. Is that
I
what
think
you're?
the girls like the music. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
it is. Like you, literally, it is that. I think you can, yeah, you can definitely tell that there from a young age there is that sense
Yeah,
that they want to get married, and that even if it's not a church, the massive, white dress and the music and stuff. But you can still do that anyway, and
yeah, I know. But my best friend got married like 2 years ago, I think, and he spent 20,000,
yeah.
and I said, "What, 20,000? I prefer the 20,000 in my pocket."
Yeah, no. To be fair, I'm very, very similar. I mean, I 100% like to get married to my girlfriend. But yeah, for me, I'm very torn between. I'd like to get married, and like you said, I'd like to sign the
Yeah,
papers and get married. But for me, I'm the whole of the day and what a standard marriage would be like for like a church or like a massive venue. I would rather get married and then have a massive party with everyone, and knowing that you're in control of that, and it's
yeah,
something that you're doing together. And for me, that I think that's a bit more special, because sometimes, like your friend spent 20 grand on the wedding, sometimes just you're spending money on things like flowers for the church,
yeah.
and they're sort of, they look pretty and they look nice, but they're secondary things.
But
As soon as you leave the church, it's gone.
it's for one day.
Yeah.
So my friend said, "Okay, it's the happiness day of my life." Okay, I understand that because it's your wife now and everything. But he said me, "It's one day. You are preparing for 1 year or more, spending 20,000. Of course, the people is giving you a gift, and
Mm.
so normally it's
Wedding
money.
gift. Yeah.
So, but he said, I was there in my wedding trying to control everything because the people is not going to your parents or something like that to control the party because you had like free alcohol for 1 hour and it's not happening, and
Yeah.
these things happen. So my friend was like all the time talking with the people, and it wasn't in the wedding
Mm.
with the friends. So finally, I prefer like you have
Yeah.
your uh, private party in a restaurant, in a farm, or wherever with your friends, and do it like that.
Yeah. 100%. I think, yeah, it's just the way. Like you said, some people are grown up and are maybe their parents might have had weddings in a
Yeah,
church, and sometimes there's like pressure from them to be like, oh well, we had it in a church. We'd like to see you, get married in a church, or the father walk the bride down in a church. So a lot of times it is a bit of politics, because the parents do sort of maybe put pressure on and say, look, we want to help with the wedding, but
yeah.
it has to be in a church. And I think that's a bit harsh sometimes, because you've got to let people do what they want. But I'm sure you and the missus will figure it out when it comes to
Yeah,
when it
I
comes to
hope
that
so.
when it comes to that chat. Otherwise, you might have to come back to England.
I think for me it's most important have a child, one or two,
Mhm.
one footballer, please,
Yeah.
than to get married in a big party in wedding.
Mm,
I prefer the child. Spend that money in my kid.
yeah, and that's it. I think once you've had that chat, I'm sure you guys will figure out what you want to do. Um, we need to wrap this up, because this has been going on for a good while now. It's been a good talk, a good chat, and figuring out your story.
We can continue in Ibiza when you come to see me.
Exactly, mate. We'll come into Ibiza. You can teach me football over there.
Yeah, of course. If you want to try there, you're welcome.
Go for a little run in Santa Eulalia.
Santa Eulalia, yeah.
Santa Eulalia. We have a little churn up down there. But no, it's been good. One question I just want to ask. We sort of alluded to it earlier about when you were growing up. When did you first fall in love with football, like properly? When was the first time you could remember where it was like, wow, whether it was going to a game or seeing something on the TV or watching a World Cup? And when was the first time you can remember you fell in love with football?
Well, I was always supporting Real Madrid from ever.
Madrid.
Yeah, I know. The English people is sad because we are the best team.
Barca.
But the thing is, I don't remember exactly the day I was in love.
No.
But I remember the first time I was in Santiago Bernabeu, and wow, it was amazing. It was 3-0 for Real Madrid against Sevilla, and Zidane was my idol, and he scored one. And I don't know, for me it was the best day of my life. I remember that game like now. It was so good. I think it was the first time I fell in love.
I think those sort of memories push you to want to do, like you said, come over here and progress that way, because you've almost got like an image of that day or that night when you went to the Bernabeu and saw Zizou score, and it's almost like you want to do that for yourself as well and recreate that day or night for yourself. But it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to Elias. Listen out for more of the podcast coming soon. Enjoy. Peace.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, brother.